Welcome to the world famous Buckeye show with your guy Cleveland Mike and your guy Terry, man. Terry, how are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great today, man. It's been a good day. Uh, my kids, my family had a good day, man. I can't ask for more. You know what I mean? My family's been doing great, man. I know you didn't ask, but you asked me how my day was. First thing I thought of was how their day was, bro. So I
Man,
don't know,
hey,
man. It's been a good day, bro.
hey, I like to hear, man. Hey, one thing that I know is we are both family, man. So hey, as long as our family
Yes,
is
sir.
good, we know that we're good. That's all. That's just
Yes,
how
sir.
us dad or husbands are, man. That's how it is, man. So, Terry, man, you do anything special this week? Or got
Nah,
anything planned for this weekend with the family?
nah. I'm thinking about taking my son out to the spring game, man. You think I should?
I think he'd love it, man. I
I,
think
I
you. I think you definitely should.
my son's not big into sports. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see, but
You
he's a
never
gamer,
know. It
man.
might be that. It might be that thing that turns him around, Terry. Like,
Yeah, he's a gamer, but hey, I think he'll like it though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, man. So we got the link out on Twitter, man. If you are following us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate all of you all for pulling up. You know, we here, man. We are here, and we actually have a jam-packed schedule today, man, to talk about. Make sure if you are not a member, we want to shout out all of our members. We appreciate you all. Memberships are available, so, like I said, hit that like, subscribe button, and then also hit that membership button right here on our Voice of College Football Ohio State channel, man.
Absolutely.
But Terry, this week there's been a lot of Buckeye content coming out. You know, we had the
It
student
has, man.
appreciation. But what I want to start off talking about is Will Howard's Gruden class, man. I actually enjoyed
I
it. What was your first initial thoughts about it?
Man, Will Howard is such a likable dude, man. And it's crazy that he was at Ohio State for that long, and it's like I can see it more now that he's not here. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with CJ Stroud when he left here too. But
Right.
I don't know, man. Just watching him, I'm like, man, that looks like a NFL starting quarterback, man. I don't,
Agreed, man. I
I don't
mean,
know.
I like Will Howard. You know, I was always in the phrase of saying, "Hey, he got to show us. He got to show us." Right. Um,
Hmm.
and he ended up showing us. It was, I believe, that Penn State game, and I was like, "All right, Will's that guy." You know. So, I was really impressed with Will Howard, and we also saw. You know, he also taught Gruden something as well. Gave him some music on NBA YoungBoy, man. We know Gruden, he's expanding his list and his genre in music. What do you think about Will Howard's music taste?
Man, I don't care about that, Mike. Hey, look, I don't care about that, man.
Bro, you
Hey,
don't care about what's getting the guys hyped before they get out there, what they listening to? Because I
you
do. I mean, like, you know, you would hear like CJ Stroud, or he would say he listened to gospel music, or some people like Justin Fields. He would say he didn't listen to the rah-rah stuff. You know, he would listen to like R&B and stuff like that, things that slowed him down. So I do I do like to see the different mindsets that quarterbacks like to go into the
I mean,
games with.
there's that. I can
Yeah,
see that part of it. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I don't listen to a ton of music to be honest, man. But I don't know. I know that when I was playing sports, I really liked to a lot. I would listen to music before the game, and it would always be something hype. So I'm glad Will Howard did that. I mean, he brought that energy every day, Mike. So
Yeah.
I don't know,
Uh,
man.
Another part that I liked on the Gruden's class that I think no one's talking about is just how fast Will Howard was able to process information. And you see why Ryan Day brought him to
Yeah.
Ohio State was just how quick he was able to pick up on stuff. And also, you know, he went out there, even in the throwing session, the way he was just able to pick up and Gruden yelling out, "Hey, it's this defense," you know, and he's throwing it to this perfect person who is supposed to go to. So, you know, I'm really very impressed with Will Howard, and it just goes to show like he has the mental
Yeah.
capability. You know,
Yep.
if he just whatever, he shouted out his QB coach, and if he just continues building on that, man, I think that Will Howard could possibly have a chance to be special in the NFL.
Yeah, I know, and that was my thing. Like you asked me about the music, that threw me off a little bit, but the excuse me, but like his NFL or not, sorry, his football just acumen, and then just like the way he's able to communicate about football, and that when he was talking to Gruden, it really stuck out to me, man. Like I said, my first thing when I listened to him, I'm like, man, that's an NFL quarterback. That's like a guy who NFL players will listen to if they're on his team. Like this, I mean, he really knows his stuff. So I don't know, man. We're lucky we got Will Howard. I was a big time Will Howard hater at one point, Mike. But
we ain't gonna say hater,
no,
man.
Listen. I did say from day one, I said if he's really like that, we'll win the national championship. So
yeah. Hey. Terry did it. But yeah, I mean, just watching that, just seeing, Will Howard in that atmosphere, I was very interested to see how Will Howard did. I did also just like, the couple, language slips or whatever. And I'm just like, look at Will just out there being authentic. And he's his authentic self. And that's what you want somebody to be. And now you see why guys gravitated towards him as well. And then also at the end when he was breaking down and they was breaking down after they did the little workout and stuff, and even G. Scott made sure to give Will Howard his extra praise and extra due. It just goes to show the leader that G. Scott is. And I thought that was interesting, seeing G. Scott out there, man, and working out and getting some routes in.
For sure. I hope G ends up on a team somewhere, man, because just with him being like a highly rated recruit coming out and just all he went through at Ohio State, bro, I hope he ends up being at least an NFL player on the team at some point. I don't know if he will. What do you think? I don't know. You think he'll get – I don't think he'll get drafted.
I think he should get drafted. I was of the opinion I feel like the only reason that he did not go to the combine is because of the stats, right? But I feel like when you look at the body of work of what he did throughout the season, how he improved, and then the way that they were just able to count on him in the playoffs, I thought that was enough to get him into the combine. And that's another thing that I always talked about, Terry. Like the guys that are going to sit out and not do the workouts at the combine, it misses. You miss out on the guy like a G. Scott being able to go there, but also like Josh Fryer, I thought he should have been at the combine. He doesn't really have that many stats against him either last season. So that was really shocking for him to not be at the combine as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it would be cool if one of those guys at least could get drafted just for like the narrative purposes, because Ohio State's going to be flirting with that record number of guys drafted ever. So that'll be cool. But also like just those two guys, man, like I was big time defending Josh Fryer in the offseason, and I wasn't defending him like he's going to be one of the best tackles in college football. I'm just like, man, like he's not getting beat all the time. You know what I mean? Like that's what do you expect? You know what I mean? And he's not like messing plays up all the time. Honestly, Josh Fryer had a really good last year at Ohio State. I don't even like that. He's probably the least memorable player from the entire team last year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember his name being called one time except at the Marshall game when he got smoked by that Mike Green kid. That was like that was way in the beginning of the year.
Exactly. And what we talked about, Terry, was in the off season or, going into the 2024 season was just about Josh Fryer showing improvement. And to be honest, he showed that improvement. I don't understand how it wasn't enough to warrant the combine. I think also he should get drafted. Even though he didn't go to the combine, I think that there's some teams like we might be able to sneak and get this, and it doesn't have to be, I'm not talking about like drafted in the first 3 rounds or anything like that. But yeah, I mean,
dude, once you get to those later rounds, the 6th and 7th, like you're drafting practice squad players anyways.
Fact.
You know what I mean? So like, unless you find like a diamond in the rough, which doesn't happen very often, you know what I mean? Like you're drafting practice squad players. Get him out there, man. It might surprise you.
Man, there was something that everybody was kind of wondering about, right? Worried about. one of the behind the scenes legends of Ohio State. Mark Pantoni and Ohio State have agreed to a new contract to make him one of the highest paid GMs. Ryan Day spoke earlier regarding this and was talking, the praise about Mark Pantoni and his staff, the ever-changing college football landscape that we're in, and still in recruiting, you're still able to keep Ohio State as a top 5 program in recruiting. Mark Pantoni, and I just think that this is, he deserves it. He deserves all of his flowers. Yeah,
I think it's long overdue, man. Like when you get a guy like that, I mean, he's been doing that for a long time at Ohio State anyway. And if you just look at the way Ohio State's roster is put together, he does a lot more than that, obviously. That's the thing that people are going to talk about the most. But I mean, I think he's kind of a glue guy here, man. And I think we need to keep him around. And it's obvious that other schools were trying to come and get him. The one school that I keep seeing put out there is Florida. People were saying that Florida was trying to hire him away. And that was one of the reasons why he got his new contract or whatever. But I mean, again, just some guys like that you got to keep around, man, because if you have to replace that guy and you make a bad hire, dude, anywhere that you make a bad hire around your athletics department can tank your from, or actually could take you for multiple seasons. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, even if you just look at the football team, you could make a bad hire at one position or one, coordinator, and that can tank you a couple seasons for you. So, guys like that, you just got to keep them around, man.
Yeah, man. You kind of heard, in this day and age, you have to have basically kind of a department of high school and then also a department of the transfer portal as well. Yep. So, I mean, that's also going to be something, everybody's talking about, hey, Ohio State might need to go into the spring portal, right? And grab these couple of players or anything. And if they're able to do that, you'll see right in real time how Mark Pantoni, and his staff are working on the portal front. But also, I think we're going to see that staff working real overtime this weekend, man. Speaking of that, it will be Ohio State's spring game, April 12th at noon. Terry's talking about going, man. If you are going to the Ohio State spring game, let me know in the chat if you're going with your families, who you're going with. So let me know in the chat. And if you're coming from out of town, let me know. You're coming from, out of the state of Columbus. Let me know in the chat where you're coming to so that you can watch your Ohio State Buckeyes in the spring game. I saw Derpy Entertainment said Ohio State wins national championship. Let's make the spring game $8 instead of it being free again. I don't remember the last time it was free. I remember
it's been a little bit of money for a while now.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, I'm just accustomed to at least $10. To me, that's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that much to get you in that stadium to see that team, I don't know, man, it's worth it. Like I said, I'm planning on taking my son if things work out, but y'all, like Mike said, man, let us know if you guys are going to be at the spring game. Let us know if you're coming from out of town. That would be dope. Hearing about some people who are coming from, maybe like Indiana or dare I say like Michigan. I see Garrison in the chat, Michigan. But yeah, I mean, just let us know, man. I might see me out there with my son. We'll see. I hope it works out, man, because I would like to go. You know what I mean? I'm trying to go see. I'm trying to go watch this quarterback battle.
I know you are. Man. Hey, we got some people saying, hey, they gonna be there. Our guys at the Buckeye Backers is gonna be there.
Yeah,
we got our guy Rex is gonna be there, man. Y'all make sure that y'all
that's my guy right
showing
there, man,
out,
Rex.
Man. Yeah, and then my guy Steve said 5 kids for $40. I'll take it. Hey, I do not blame you. This is exactly what it is for, man. This is exactly what it's for.
Exactly.
You get to enjoy your national championship team for the low, man. So one thing that I do know is that place is known to fill up, especially I think all the tickets are basically general admission. So it's on the first come, first serve basis where you sit. If you want to be more closer to the players and more closer to the atmosphere, hey, you know how Buckeye fans do. You better pitch a tent and get out there in that line bright and early. I say Friday night.
Like telling them to pitch a tent is diabolical, Mike. That's crazy.
We are trying to pack out the shoe, man. Look, well, we had 80,000 at the shoe last year, man. We need look, this is national championship Buckeye. I expect 100,000+. Pack that mug out.
100,000 is crazy, Mike.
Man, hey, for a spring game, why not? To be honest, and just saying, with our quarterbacks and some of the nervousness that I have seen from one of them, yeah, I want that mug to be packed. I want it to be loud. I want to see if someone come in this spring looking different than they did last year. That's what
it'll cost you 5 kids $40, and you get to say that you saw Jeremiah Smith catch a pass.
Look at that, man. Hey,
just saying, that's a good deal.
Yeah, and then you got Acrorex that I paid $150 for mine, so it's gonna be worth it, man. Hey, he taking the whole film. Yeah, he going up there.
I think he's talking about like sitting in like A deck or something.
Oh, okay. So that's you are able to pay extra. Okay.
Yeah, I think you can pay for like the very front seats, and then the rest of it is general admission.
Hey, if you're scared, go to church. That's what I tell them. If you're scared, go to church, man.
I just need to see the defenders out there on third down, like raising their hands, like let's go, and the crowd going crazy. Julian Sands back there shaking.
So Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, and Matt Patricia, you talk about the head coach of the offense, head coach of the defense, head coach of it all. They had their press conference earlier this week, man. And, there were some interesting things that kind of came out of that. It was the press conference right after the student appreciation game. Terry, what were your takes from, let's start off with Ryan Day, from what Ryan Day said.
Yeah, I mean, most of the takes are going to be from what Ryan Day had to say. I feel like Ryan Day, this offseason has just been speaking more free, just saying what he wants to say. More confident with what he's saying. So, I mean, as far as like specific takeaways, I'm gonna have you get into some of that, man. But the big thing that I noticed about Ryan Day when I listen to him talk, and even in this press conference, like I said, he just is like Ryan Day sounds like Nick Saban-esque now when he talks. I feel like when he talks, he's saying something, and then he's taking this opportunity after winning the national championship to speak on issues around college football, which I think is great because the coaches that have won national championships, there's only a couple of them left. So, I mean, obviously things are going to go on. People are going to win more, but those guys have to speak up and kind of do what's best for college football because that's what guys like Nick Saban would do. And Nick Saban, he's gone now, man. So, somebody has to fill that void of kind of being those coaches that make sure that the sport is going in the right direction. And I think Ryan Day's done a really good job of doing that this offseason. That's the one thing I wanted to highlight about his press conference, because he talked a little bit about you know what? Actually, go on, Mike. I'm gonna let you go because I'm about to ramble about what he talked about. It don't even matter. I'm just glad that he's speaking up for the better of college football.
I mean, you saw Nick Saban and Urban Meyer go ahead, and they went ahead and talked about that, right? When they expanded or made the playoffs, and even though it was 4 teams, Urban Meyer and Nick Saban was talking about these parents traveling to the conference championship game and traveling to, the playoff bowl game and then having to go to the national championship game. After that was a lot. And, Ohio State, Urban Meyer was right at the forefront of it. And you love to see Ryan Day, take that role as well. And again, Ohio State right at the forefront of it, man. So shout out to Ryan Day, actually understanding that Ohio State has his voice. And also, shout out to our president, Carter and Bjork, because they said that college football is king here at Ohio State. and that Ohio State will be at the forefront of everything in college football. So,
They do.
I mean, to be honest, Ryan
Yeah.
Day just doing his job.
No, I agree, but I love that stuff, Mike, because I mean, those are the things that Ryan Day been saying and he been talking about and kind of like addressing, giving his opinion on. People before he won the Natty, people would just be like, "Oh, look, there's Ryan Day crying again." Like a lot of people would say that, like Southern fans, Michigan fans, stuff like that. But I even think that his opinions are a little different now, and he says them from a different angle or a different aspect now. And that's what I love about it, because like I said, like when I listen to Ryan Day talk now, dude, he sounds like what what Nick Saban would sound like when he's talking about college football and about like the direction the sport should go and stuff like that. And I don't know, man, I think if we got, give me the next Nick Saban. You know what I mean? People are about to roast me for that. That's gonna be funny.
They cannot roast you, man. We seen Oregon. They was saying that Dan Lannon was the next Saban, and hey, we saw we saw what happened to that, man. But yeah, also, you know, a lot of people are talking about the D-line. Ohio State lost its starting defensive line, entire starting defensive line. Now Ryan Day has spoke on, you know, the depth and needing you know, guys to show consistency more at D tackle. It sounds like Ryan Day is more happy with the edges than he is with the D tackles. And also it sounds like you go ahead and solidify CJ Hicks is probably that dog.
Dude, they've been talking crazy about CJ Hicks, and I don't know, man. I can't jump on the hype train, Mike. I done did it like 3 years in a row, bro. I gotta just see it on the field this year. I have to. I don't have a choice.
I feel you, man.
I can't, man. I can't do it 4 times in a row.
I feel you. And one thing that speaking of the press conference and Hartline's press conference, you know, he was talking about you know, there were some talks that was out there about, hey, there might have been some friction with Bowen and stuff or whatever, but he talked about them getting along, how they're able to work together. So, you know, I'm still interested in Brian Hartline, his first time play caller, and how they're working that out. But from what I've seen in the student appreciation, it didn't look too bad.
No, dude, no. I mean, listen, with Brian Hartline, when he talks, it's always so funny because Brian Hartline always has like he's pretentious with the beat writers or like the beat reporters, right? People asking the questions, I should say. They ask him a question, he's like, really, man, like that's a stupid question. And I always love that from him. But I do like recall what you're talking about. People were saying there was some like conflict with Brian Hartline and Bowen, and there should be, dude. That's just how, like, with football, you're dealing with like, first off, this is high level football. Just won the national championship last year. You're dealing with someone who's trying to advance their career. Who, I mean, I know that they're coaching the same team, but like Bowen was the offensive coordinator last year. Brian Hartline's the offensive coordinator this year. They're going to have strong opinions. You know, they're going to have their thoughts. That's just going to happen, dude. If that doesn't happen on your team, then you don't have people speaking up, and you don't have people like saying what's really on their mind, and you're not going to figure out the best way to do things. So I don't have no issue with that.
Yeah, and to be honest, I would rather them have that issue now than in the season, right? You know, absolutely. I mean, obviously having it in the season, nose felt some way about it. That's why he's gone, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that they're able to have that now, work it out. But also, like you said, competitors, 2 highly competitive guys, man. That's what's going to happen. But, you know, iron sharpens iron. And again, I'm not going to worry about play calling or offensive play calling when I have Ryan Day in the room, man. Speaking of,
Mike, also, can we stay on this for a second? Like, why does everybody have to be bad at something that they haven't, that they're not proven at? Like, I know that it can be bad, so people can worry about it. But like, dude, Brian Hartline, what reason would anyone have to think that he wouldn't be good at calling plays? I don't know why anyone would think that. Like, you're dealing with someone who has excelled at everything that they've done so far in coaching. and not just excel, but you're talking about someone who's excelled to the point where, okay, we put you as a wide receiver coach and you became the best wide receiver coach in college football, maybe college football history. Like, I mean, so we're going to look at that guy and be like, oh yeah, well, he's probably not smart enough to figure out how to call plays. Like what?
Yeah.
That I just don't understand that. And he had time to learn under Ryan Day and Chip Kelly, both of them. And just all the other great offensive minds. I mean, he also had a chance to learn under Kevin Wilson. People don't talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I think that what happened back in 2023 is that Ryan Day realized that, oh shit, we don't have an elite quarterback this year, so I can't give up play calling. Yeah. I think that's what happened. I don't think that it had anything to do with Brian Hartline. And I've always felt that way though. Even, ever since once I realized like what we had on that team at quarterback, I started to think like, okay, yeah, I don't think that Ryan Day took this away from Hartline because he was not good at it.
And that's the thing. If you honestly talk about like the wide receivers that have came through Ohio State, going about the way Brian Hartline teaches, he says that he does not teach these guys to be a college, wide receiver. Shout out to our members in the chat. You have Doreen in the chat and one of our members, Robert, in the chat. We appreciate you all. If you want to be a member, you got memberships, make sure you join. We are working to bring you guys some exclusive content behind the scenes. Garrison and I have been talking about that. So hopefully in the next month or so, we will be able to bring that to you all. But we're looking for more memberships, man. More memberships that we get, the more things that we can do on this channel, man. But
thank you so much, Doreen and Robert. Sorry, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, let me get that in there, man. That's my people right there.
Yeah. And but as I was speaking, one thing that Brian Hartline, like I said, he teaches them NFL style instead of college style, right? Another thing that you hear from these wide receivers is he wants us to look at the field as if we're a quarterback and read the field as if we're a quarterback. Yep. These wide receivers not just out there lined up like, oh, this is my man, or oh, I got to get to that spot. These wide receivers are out there looking. What's the difference? What's the coverage? I need to know where the hole is going to be, before. That's what we heard how elite Jackson Smith and Jigba was, right? So if Brian Hartline's teaching these guys this, you have to understand, like, he definitely understands the X's and O's of football, also playing it at a high level. And I believe that he still holds records with the Miami Dolphins. So
exactly. And dude, what you were just talking about, a perfect example of that is Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, is a noticeably different player because he could look at the defense and anticipate what was going to happen. And then he would just get open every single time because of that. Whereas the beginning of the year, he would make some mistakes in his anticipation and actually run himself out of being open sometimes, or, just kind of not bend the route the right way, stuff like that. That was really prevalent in the Oregon game, just an example. And then later in the year, now he's like probably the best player in college football.
Big facts, man. Before we go ahead and we get any further, I got to go ahead and throw this up on the screen. Get your business, product, service, or personal brand to the next level by partnering with the Voice of College Football. See what our partner, Win Agency, has to say about his partnership experience with us. Let's discuss how you can reach your target market. Contact us at sponsorships at vocfb.com today. And, Win Agencies, they've been showing their sponsorships or their advertisement on the Voice of College Football Network, and they have, grown a bigger target audience in their social media, which has led to the growth in their business as well. So make sure that you tap in with us at sponsorships at voiceofcollegefootball.com, and we appreciate you all. So moving on to Matt Patricia's part of the conference, man. This guy just seems like every time we see him, he just seems like he's like it's Christmas morning. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I get to work with these guys. He joked about having, can these wide receivers play the end? He joked about having all of these body types, and he says, oh, these guys, they look NFL ready. That's the part that just continues to get to me is he's been around NFL guys majority of his career. And now you're saying like Ohio State got these NFL guys. Coach Mick gets a lot of hate. And so shout out to Coach Mick and what he has been able to do getting these guys looking like that. But also shout out to this coaching staff and the development that they have put in.
Yeah, man. Listen, Matt Patricia just reminds me of Chip Kelly last year. I know I said it last week on the show, I think, and I'm probably just keep saying that all through next year. He just reminds me of Chip Kelly last year. And he's just, you're talking about an elite, high level NFL mind. And also, like, you can tell when Matt Patricia talks that he's a professional. You could tell that he's been doing this professionally for years and years and years. He's not out here just saying reckless stuff. But listen, Mike, one thing that he has been kind of reckless with is the way he talks about Arvell Reese. And listen, I'm not looking at the show notes right now. You might have this in the show notes later, but I'm trying to talk about what Matt Patricia is talking about and everybody else, not just Matt Patricia. Every single person on the entire team keeps saying the words Arvell Reese coming off the edge. And I need to talk about it because Matt Patricia said he's going to do a lot more things than just playing linebacker. What else is he going to do, Mike? He's not playing safety.
I mean, you already heard Peyton Pierce, man, what he said about him. He said he's unstoppable off the edge, right? I mean, and then you see Peyton Pierce's, how he imitated James Laurinaitis, and he just, Phil, I just love you, man. That was hilarious, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that imitation thing had me dying. The funniest one, I wish we had the clips, man. If y'all haven't watched it, check out the Ohio State social media page on Instagram or Twitter. They put out this thing where the players were imitating coaches. Dude, when Brandon Ennis imitated Ryan Day, I about fell out of my chair, man. He did the run. He was like, hey, I was dying when I seen that, Mike.
That's the one that we didn't all see. We didn't see Ryan Day do that on the sidelines and in practice, like when the media be showing like the quarterbacks and they mess up, and then they show Ryan Day. It was on point too, bro. It was on point.
Oh man, that had me dying. Like that's one of the better content videos they put out for real. And James Peoples was like,
"Oh, with Coach
if you're soft, if your kids are soft, you're soft." Coach Locke's like, I know you didn't imitate me.
Yeah. Bro, hey, I love this team, man, and the young men that we got on it. And now I remember in the past we spoke about the players that Ohio State was going after, and we were a little bit worried about the type of players that they were going after, but I'm excited about these guys. And continuously speaking of Arvell Reese, it was Peyton Pierce who is the one who snitched. He's the one who told everybody, the whole thing. Arvell is crazy off the edge. But also one thing that we expected with getting Matt Patricia is the fact that we're going to be able to be multiple, right? That's the one thing that we are going to be able to do is be multiple. And so, like I done told people, I said, we had the Rushman package, man. The crash dummy package. Imagine, I mean, for real, like you're talking about you put Arvell on the edge or you got a CJ Hicks. I even remember someone saying Sonny Styles off the edge, right? I mean, like I just go back to when it was Tommy Eichenberg and Still Chambers in 2022 and the way that they was getting after the quarterback. And I'm just like, these Twitch monsters, these athletic freaks, bro. Like they gonna hurt somebody. So
I'm ready for it. Let me ask this. So in the chat, I want to get the chat involved on this because this is a big one, Mike. This is a big subject, and it's on Matt Patricia. Do you guys think that Ohio State will run more 3 linebacker sets this year than we did under the Jim Knowles set? Let me know in the chat, y'all, with a yes or no. And then if you say yes, let me know what linebackers you think are going to be the 3? I think we kind of all know because of how much hype has been around our Peyton Pierce. I think we're going to see a lot of him playing. But let me know in the chat what y'all think, man. I want to get them involved in this one because it's a good subject. Because I think Matt Patricia is really about to bring some stuff that we're not used to seeing. And even if it's not like with a defensive alignment, I think it'll be a lot of stuff that we're not used to seeing, like post snap, and just like how aggressive our guys can play. And I think that Matt Patricia is going to be able to make this defense where we create a lot more turnovers.
Right. And to be honest, we saw a lot of Peyton Pierce out there on the field taking snaps with the ones, man. So I'm really excited to see. I think that we're still going to be base 4-2, but it just all depends on who we go up against, man. That's the multiple part about it, and that's what you also heard about Matt Patricia is like, hey, we want to be able to have these packages and be able to use these packages depending on who we're going up against. So, you go up against, you can't even say Wisconsin because Wisconsin tried to go spread. So, I don't know. You go up against, I guess, like the team up north. I am interested in seeing what kind of defense he plays against them because, man, I wish he just look at that 2022 game. So, I'm very interested. But
look at the game where we gave up 45 points.
Man, if people, I guess people don't see that game how I see it.
No,
bro.
me and
People
you see it the same, Mike.
Yeah,
me and
you,
we were saying Jim knows all you had to do was run that defense with the players that we no longer have, that we now have, and we're going to be the best defense ever. And we didn't get that, which is why I always hated Jim Knowles, man. But that's a whole other topic for another day.
So, everybody thought that this spring game, Ryan Day had us like, man, it's just going to be a showcase. But one thing that Ryan Day was realizing is these guys need some snaps. You seen in the student appreciation game, he let the quarterbacks go live. One thing that he has not done since he has been at Ohio State is have all of the quarterbacks go live. So he's realizing he needs to build toughness in his team, some callous in his team as well. And so you will see the first portion, when the starters or whatever is out there, there will be a little thud. But it won't get live until you see like the 2s and 3s out there.
And that's fine. That's fine, Mike. I want to talk about the first thing you said for a second, though, because Ryan Day letting Julian Sayin get smacked in front of students by TJ Alford, a freshman linebacker, is insane, bro. I never in my life would have thought Ryan Day would let something like that happen. And TJ Alford, when he came down and tackled him, he wasn't coming down just to drag him to the ground either. He popped him, and Malik Hartford dove at his ankle. So they was trying to take him out. But I love that aggressive from guys like that, man. And they got super hyped. That was like one of the more fun plays from the student appreciation day. But dude, just Ryan Day even letting that happen, I think some of that it shows because listen, we talked about Brian Hartline's press conference. Brian Hartline, I know we're bouncing a little bit, guys, but it's going to wrap around here. So Brian Hartline mentioned in his press conference that it should always be like that. Quarterbacks should always be live. So maybe that aspect of it was kind of Brian Hartline being like, look, if we let these quarterbacks go live, we're going to really be able to see which one of these guys is actually ready and which one is not ready.
I can tell you this. I would already know who Brian Hartline's quarterback is right now if he was still on the roster. And to be honest, the last time he was the offensive coordinator, right? And he was dealing with a quarterback battle. He did have a quarterback that asked, hey, I know that y'all don't make quarterbacks live, but I want to be live.
Yep.
I know
he did.
Whatever happens comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So, and to be honest, I like that type of dog mentality, and I understand exactly what Brian Hartline is saying in that, man. So, my whole thing is I feel it, and people have talked about it. Just Julian Sayin body language didn't really look the same, right? It didn't look the same when he got hit versus when you saw Brandon Ennis get hit. You know, that's another thing that
hey, Julian looked like he hated that, Mike. If I'm being
bro,
honest, he was on the ground like, oh man. He was
bro, he got up like, man, I cannot wait till this practice is over with.
He was like, man, Ryan Day let me get hit like that. He was like,
shout out.
And then, go ahead,
real quick, Terry. Shout out our member, Blue Wolverine, my God, for the 10. Hey, everyone from across rivalry lines. Salute, my guy, Blue Wolverine. We definitely appreciated you.
Blue Wolverine's a real one, man.
Yeah, man. Always he pulled up to the Buckeye Brigade, dropped off some memberships on people, man. So we appreciate that, man. And, you know, the rivalry, we keep it on the field, man, but we're able to, you know, still be hospitable, still crack jokes, and still have that rivalry banter, man. So Blue Wolverine, he's a real one. And this isn't the only Ohio State channel that he's on. So, and he's always been super cool in the chats as well. Anytime I see him. So shout out Blue Wolverine for just always being a cool stand-up guy. And I also want to shout out.
Also, we're beating y'all this year.
I also want to shout out Kinetic 615 because he was saying earlier that he was enjoying the show as well. And, you know, that sometimes he can't watch the Buckeye shows, but he believes that he's going to be able to enjoy this one. So, where are we at? Oh, go ahead, Terry. You was going to say something before I got to that super chat.
Dude, I don't know. Let's move on. I don't know.
Yeah. We were talking about the quarterbacks getting hit, man. We were just talking about the quarterbacks taking hits. And,
I remember.
Sometimes you're just trying to build that toughness in your quarterback. Maybe that could be one of the reasons.
Yep. I'm bad to interrupt you, bro. What I was going to say was, even though I think that was super cool, we probably will never see that again, dude, because Ryan Day in his press conference did not seem like he was happy about, first off, about Julian saying, but any of the quarterbacks getting hit. He was like, yeah, we did that, but we probably won't be seeing that going forward or something like that, he said.
Yeah.
So I don't even think next year that you'll see something like that. It might just be like a one-off situation where maybe these quarterbacks really have to prove themselves, so they gave them an opportunity.
Man, or, you know, Brian Hartline was like, hey, you ain't picked the quarterback I voted for last time, so you at least got to give me this. You at least got to give me this, because to me, I know who he voted for. I know who he voted for after listening to his press conference. I know who he voted for in 2023. I don't know about y'all. But are there concerns going into the spring game that you're feeling, right? Are there concerns about the team, a position group, or any players? You know, we heard Caleb Downs. He has not been taking as many reps because he had a nagging injury that he played through. Jaden Fielding was saying, you know, that he was dealing with an injury. That could have been a possibility why he was missing those kicks in November. So, you know, there are some guys that still have been feeling the impact or the effect of the long season, right? That have had to work out some injuries and things like that. Are there injury concerns? Anything that you're concerned about going into the spring game right now, Terry?
Yeah, so I'm going to go a little bit different than most people, right? I think right now most people want to talk about the defensive tackles, and it makes sense. That's what Ryan Day's talked about. I want to talk about the offensive tackles. That felt like a slight concern to me. And the only reason I say that is because you have Ethan Onyeama, who's supposed to start at left tackle for us in theory, who only played at Rice. I get that he would have been drafted to the NFL and all that stuff. But I don't know. I know it's spring, his first spring and all that stuff. But I've seen multiple clips of him getting toasted. Toasted. And he's getting beat with speed. So he did say he's still cutting weight down and stuff. So maybe, you know, whatever. Come season time, he'll be a little better. We have proven guys on the inside. We don't have proven guys to tackle on the offensive line. I mean, even Ethan, I don't care where he was going to be drafted. He played at Rice. He wasn't playing against the level of competition that he's going to play against this year. So I don't know, man. I worry a little bit about the offensive tackles. I do think that they'll be good. It's not like I'm like, oh, I don't think they're going to be good. It's just, I just think that we have kind of a different body type there than we normally have, because these guys are a lot bigger. Like we had like DeJuan Jones, but other than that, our tackles are typically like your 6'4", 6'5", 315, right around there. You know what I mean? Your athletic tackles. We got some big dudes out there this year, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I seen some people was posting that, the tackles look like there could be some issues. But one thing that I have never really worried about Ohio State at is pass protection. For some reason, we have always been good at that. And I try to remind people that, the offensive line ain't never gonna look good. Ain't never gonna look the best in the spring, man. But also what you spoke on, right, is those guys are coming from different places. They were dealing with different type of athletes day in, day out, where they're learning, hey, where I could have took a playoff here and there, I can't take not one playoff. So also they're having to adjust to the Buckeye culture, adjust to the strain that they have to go through and everything. And I think that they'll be fine. To be honest, I feel like, from our offensive line that was in the playoffs and our offensive tackles in the playoffs, I do feel like we're going to be better entering the season from that playoff offensive line. Going into this year's, I do feel like we'll be fine.
Whew, better though.
I know.
Better?
I mean,
we just talked about how good
better
Fryer
than
played.
better than
Donnie Jackson?
better than the playoff offensive line. Yes, I do believe that, because you're talking about the interior guys. I think that they're going to already be better. I definitely think that the tackles will be ready, and you already hear about you heard about the Armstrong twins and what they said. When you need individual work, you're able to get it now. Yeah. That's something that they weren't able to get their first year at Ohio State. They're saying, if I need individual work, I can go ahead and I can get that right away. And you hear about the different offensive line coaches that we have. They're not just some rinky-dink offensive line. Like, these guys were offensive coordinators at other spots as well. So that's why I say I'm not going to harp on it. And then also just the position that Day is just able to be in, watching the whole team, he's not going to allow it.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. Now, I mean, when you flip that, right, the one thing you got to remember in spring, right, is they're practicing against each other. So if Ryan Day's worried about our defensive tackles, that means that the interior of our offensive line's got to be, they're probably beasts. They're probably beasts. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably out there just dominating this spring. But like, they dominated last year. So it's like they dominated the football season, the end of the football season last year as an interior. So, I mean,
they was getting a double snakes whooped in the spring. Who? The interior was.
Oh, was they?
Yeah.
Why are we worried about DT then? Are you talking about last year?
I'm talking about last year. Our interior of O-line was getting spanked by our D tackle.
Oh, they were. No, they were. Yes,
they was getting abused.
Yes,
so
I agree.
That's why I'm saying, like, the O-line ain't going to look good. Also, again, this is the first time that these guys are in practice and our O-line does not have chemistry yet.
Yeah, the chemistry thing is a big one, dude. Even like when you look at the first game of the year, like we could see some breakdowns in the Texas game that are just not going to be what the team is going to be later in the season. Like, that's just how it is. You know, the O-line especially takes some time to gel together. So,
I mean, just go look at, like, that was my whole thing. When we got Simmons, right, we didn't get him in the winter portal. We got him in the fall portal. Yeah, he was after the spring portal. He came, so the only time he had to gel. Here was the crazy part about, when Simmons came, we had really hardly any chemistry, because first, right, you got to come in, you got to put in the work, but you got to earn that spot.
Yep.
So he wasn't even. Yep. So the first
he just came for fall camp.
He was only working with like the 2s and the 3s at first. He had to work his way up to that one spot. So that's why I'm saying, like, we got our guys. I'm not worried. Once they get that chemistry and that communication going, and I mean, especially the way I was just watching on film, some breakdowns, and just the way the guys were passing guys off, and especially if Tegra can get better at that as well, I'm not really worried, bro.
Hey,
I'm excited about this.
we're gonna have to put some respect on Tegra's name, man.
For sure, for sure.
That's my guy, man. I've been beating the table for Tegra for 2 years now.
All right. So, not who, but what are you looking forward to seeing? We're going to get into the who's, but what are you looking forward to seeing?
Young players. Looking forward to seeing some of these young guys. Some of these young guys actually out on the field in front of fans with a chance to make some plays.
Shoot, what I'm looking forward to seeing is guys just, who have played in the spring look better this spring than they did last spring. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah. And also what I'm looking forward to seeing is nobody's going to be cutting this film up for us. We'll all be able to watch in 4K how Brian Hartline calls that offense.
Brian Hartline versus Matt Patricia in the spring game. That could be crazy. That could be something.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, that could be something to pay attention to, man.
Yeah. Now, who are you looking forward to seeing? You can give me a couple guys.
Who? So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Lincoln Keenholz because he had a good student appreciation day, and I need to see him like in a game setting. Go out there and do it because we just haven't seen it yet, right? We've seen probably more game reps of outside of that one game when it didn't even really count. We've seen more game reps of Julian Sand than we have of Lincoln Keenholz. So I want to see that on defense. I want to see Aaron Scott. That's another player I want to see because people have got so much hype about Devin Sanchez. And I mean, I think he deserves that hype. 100% he deserves that hype. But I think that has kind of came along with writing off Aaron Scott. And I don't think that we should do that yet because I think that kid's got some crazy potential.
Yeah, I want to see Aaron Scott not get beat deep. That's what
that's what I'm saying. That's what
I want to see because the tendency, I seen it, and then I seen it in practice. So what I need to see in the spring is don't get beat deep because that's also something that right in 2022 that we faced. Right, our team, we were pin your ears back, go after it. And we put guys on islands. So if we're going to trust you to rotate in there, I need to make sure, like one thing I know, Iggy ain't going to get beat deep. He'll tackle you or something, but he's not going to get beat deep. I need to make sure that Aaron Scott ain't doing that. So, but
understandable.
And the people who I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to seeing my guy Riley Pettijohn out there. Always looking forward to seeing him. And I'm also, looking forward to seeing what they, can possibly do with him. I'm also looking to see Bryce West. He's been playing the nickel. Last time we saw him on the field at Ohio Stadium. Last time we see him on the field at Ohio Stadium, what was he doing? He made a play, but he was playing outside corner. I want to see what he looks like in the nickel. I actually want to see how he looks guarding Brandon Ennis because we've heard about and we've seen it with our own eyes, the separation that Brandon is able to get, his route running ability as well. So I'm very interested in seeing how he does. And to be honest, man, I would be very, very interested, and I'm very interested in seeing how like our secondary look because I have a very, very prediction that I want to give in the offseason. I got a lot of predictions that I want to give in the offseason. So I really want to see, is this secondary going to be like that? Because if so,
I agree,
then the depth, the rotation that we should be doing, you're talking about a long season. And then another thing I want to see is
hey, real quick, Mike, real quick. I got to hop out of here, brother. Sorry to cut you short. Just something came up with my family here. Nothing bad. So everybody in the chat, nothing bad. I just got to run, go get my kids real quick. So thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good?
I'm sure Mike will wrap up the show here with y'all, but I'm going to hop out. Everyone, thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all, man. be sure to like the video, obviously, all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button if you didn't already. But thanks, you guys, and y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all next week. Come back.
We appreciate you, Terry.
All right, later, Mike.
All right. And so what I was saying is one thing I want to see is these wide receivers, right? We talked all last year. Ryan Day talked about, hey, the reason why we didn't run this many plays, and we was one of the last teams in college football was because of the long season. The way that they are talking about the wide receivers, Ryan Day saying, if Quincy Porter continues to do what he's doing, he's going to have to see the field. Things that we are hearing about Marlon Graham. And then also shout out to my guys at what's that, Buckeye boys, my guy Dev, in Buckeye School. We talked about this on Buckeye Brigade. They're bringing in Chris Carter as an analyst. I know he was working there a couple days. He posted that. But our guy's saying that he's going to be brought in. How awesome is that? Where maybe now Brian Hartline can get that trust from someone, right? And now we could see the rotation of our wide receivers, because that's something that I've been wanting to see. I feel like we got the guys, and I think that we should be rotating. I don't think that we should be taking our foot off the pedal, running less plays for nobody. I think all of these guys should be getting the reps that they need, especially you're talking about going into the 2026 season. Rotation. That is what I am wanting to see. So everybody keep talking to me about Marlon Graham, Quincy Porter. I need to see it with my own eyes, man. So in the chat, everybody, let me know who you are looking forward to seeing. Go ahead, drop some names down who you are looking forward to seeing in this spring game. There's some recruits. This is going to be a packed out show. Like I told you earlier, Mark Panton has a full weekend. Actually, I say a full week. I think that there's players that have been on campus this week. So they have already had a full one, right? So the one recruit that I want to talk about that's going to be on campus is Caden Dixon Wyatt, right? The wide receiver out of Modern Day. Is Ohio State, is Brian Hartline, is Ryan Day gonna be able to pull this off, man? And I'm talking about if you got a firepower and you're going to be able to start selling to recruits, not only do you get to work with the proven best wide receiver coach in college football, hell, maybe in the damn country, right? Because we know some NFL teams might want Hardline too. Anyway, but to sell that and then also sell to a recruit, hey, yeah, by the way, we got Chris Carter as an analyst. You'll be working out with him too. Why not come to Ohio State? I want to see, Chris Henry Jr., he said that he is locking his commitment down. So right there, we might got one out of Modern Day. Can we get another one? Can this be the pipeline that we need? Because it has been a very, very tough road for Ohio State or whatever, getting into Modern Day. We went all in on the running back last year, which I thought the number one running back was in Ohio anyways, but we went all in. He spawned us. And anytime we go after a big-time recruit there, they always, end up playing us. But I asked you guys who you wanted to see. Make sure that y'all are hitting that like and subscribe button. That helps us grow this channel and so that we can do more with you all. So, again, if you have not hit that like button, hit that like button for us. Now, we got our member, Robert, said Quincy and Devin. That is who he's looking forward to, seeing Devin Sanchez, seeing Quincy Porter. Oh, will they line up against each other, man? I mean, these guys need reps, so I'm expecting Devin to be out there all game, all day. Ain't no reason. I mean, I guess there is a reason for him to come out because other people got to do stuff, right? What else we got? We got people want to see Aaron Scott Jr. Doug is right there with Terry, man. And shoot, Blue Wolverine said, eyes on the QBs. Yeah, we got our eyes on y'all QB too, Blue Wolverine. Yeah, what y'all got? We trying to see, is that freshman really like that? Because some reports saying that y'all got somebody else who might start. And it ain't Davis Warren. So we going to see about that, man. Posh, our member, said Devin Sanchez, Riley Pettijohn, and QBs, all three of them. Yes, exactly. And here's the thing, Buckeye Nation. It is so okay to root for both quarterbacks because guess what? I'm rooting for both. You know, do I prefer a little bit of the – I kind of just have been missing that athletic quarterback or whatever. But to be honest, bro, I'm rooting for all of them. Whoever they pick. You can hate Lincoln Kinghouse right now and just saying is going to be the starter. But if Lincoln Kinghouse is the first quarterback that tries out there, guess what you're doing? You're rooting for Ohio State and you're rooting for Lincoln Kinghouse. And if he wins the first game, guess what you're going to be saying? Heisman Kinghouse, West Dakota Heisman. So same thing with saying. If you don't like saying and saying wins the job, you're going to be a fan of his anyway. So you might as well get on board with it. And, my guy Steve brings up the Cleveland, Ohio kid, Bo Jackson. Coach Locke said that he has gifts that only God can give. I am interested in seeing him. And people believe that he is going to get a lot more carries this year, even more than what James Peoples got last year. Before we get out of here, I do got to give a special shout out to our members, Win Stars Line, Blue Wolverine, Bootzilla, Jordan Kapler, Grizz, Robert Howard, Jam, OSU, and Philip Buford, Doug Shepard, John Bruce, Ferguson, and Doreen. We appreciate all of you all, man. And if you have enjoyed this show, again, make sure that you let all your friends know. You let everybody around, your Ohio State fandom. Send this to your parents. Send this to your cousin. I know y'all got some family group chats. Post it in there, Get everybody in here. Help us grow so that you all can grow as well, man. We appreciate you all. We will be seeing you all Saturday. Myself and Garrison will be talking about the spring game right after. So check that out. We have a full line right here on this channel, Voice of College Football, Ohio State. We have a full lineup. Garrison and Ryan will be putting out content tomorrow as well. Make sure that you check those guys out over there. And again, Saturday, we will be live. So right after the spring game, make sure you tuned in here. Hit that notification bell so that you know exactly when we go live. And with that, we are out of here.